All right, we are about a week removed from the Daytona 500, and you're fresh off a trip down there. Heading across the country now. Well, those guys are already there. We're not. But Phoenix, Subway Fresh Fit 500. Denny Hamlin won there last year. Denny did not win at Daytona, finished 14th this past week, but different racetrack, different dynamics. Who do you think?
A big dynamic difference here. This racetrack was just repaved 2 years ago. So not only are they at a track that is very different from Daytona, but it's very different from what it was 2 years ago. A lot of speed. It's been repaved, and I think these drivers are going to have their hands full with a brand new race car.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the brand new race car, the Gen 6, and a lot lower speeds. Obviously, from Daytona, you're going about 70 miles roughly lower than you would be when you're on an international speedway at 2.5 mile track. So should be a lot of good racing, though. Phoenix always provides a lot of excitement. That's kind of why they put that race right after Daytona.
Now, the people that know a lot more about the mechanics of it all say the Gen 6 cars are going to perform well out in Phoenix. I guess time will tell, and we'll find out on Sunday why or why not they don't. But who do you have? Tell me who you think wins out there.
Well, I have somebody who had an awful performance at Daytona. His whole team had an awful performance at Daytona. But and it hurts me to say this. I'm not going to make any secret about that. But Kyle Busch is my guy here.
Oh, that's why it hurt.
Kyle Busch is my guy.
That's why
yeah,
it hurt.
I know.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, for real. He really excels at this track. He has several top 5 finishes and a win. He won last year, and I just at Phoenix, and I think he's going to push himself back into the conversation.
Not a bad pick at all. I would have to go with Brad Keselowski, who finished 4th. He had a good week at Daytona last week, defending champ. Had 2 top 10 finishes last year at Phoenix. So also ran well, knows the track very well, and I think he has just as good of a shot as Kyle Busch does. But you can't go wrong with either pick, I believe. Kyle Busch led I think like 200 laps in the November race last year. So both guys run very well there.
He did. He led over 230 laps and actually finished 3rd in that race. That was not the race he won that year. And if you look at this week's practice times, he's at the top of the chart in the nationwide practice right now, and he's in the top 10 in the Sprint Cup practice right now. So it looks like Kyle Busch has brought a winning caliber car to Phoenix.
Did he bring his bad attitude too?
Well, not any worse than his brother's bad attitude.
Well, speaking of that, speaking of the nationwide practice, I also saw that Kyle Larson somehow he must have had a backup car, as his whole front end fell off.
The other one.
Right, he was running 2nd in the nationwide practice, so good to see that he's okay and that he's out there running fast once again.
Well, I guess lastly though, what about the It Girl? You were there last week at Daytona. Danica overshadowed everybody. We even did a story about that. What about Jeff Gordon? He was starting in the front row too, but everyone forgot about it. And why?
Well, she's ran well, obviously, on open wheel racing with big tracks. We know she can drive well there. This is a place where she can really prove, that she belongs. She ran 17th last year in the November race, so she ran, midway through the pack. If she can do well in this Phoenix race, what she said her goals were. Not to go crazy, but if she can do
the top 5, top 10 finish each and every week.
Top 15, top 20 finish for her in this race, I think would suit her just fine.
Well, and I'm just gonna lay it out there. I'm glad her hopes and expectations for herself are top 20 because there's no way I don't think she finishes in the top 10 in this race. Mm-hmm. Phoenix is an entirely different race. Of course, it's relatively flat. It takes somebody up on the wheel for 500 miles. With the reconfigured track, with it repaved, there are still some questions to be answered, and I think you're going to see the top 10. It's going to be a lot of guys that are no surprise when Sunday's all said and done. This is going to take experience, and this is going to take somebody who's been there before. I just don't think this is Danica's week.
All right, well, we thought the same thing at Daytona, and she was still left standing there in the line of 10. But that's why they run the race,
That's
Mr.
right.
Munch. That's why they run the race, and that's why you don't.
Oh, yeah.
we don't want to see
right.
what happened there, but if you want to see that race, of course, you got to see it right here, WACH Fox 57. 3:14 is the start time on Sunday. Of course, coverage begins well before that, so make sure you tune in. And right here, that's going to do it for this week's podcast and look ahead. And we'll check back in maybe on Monday and see how you guys did.
We sure will. And in the meantime, get into the conversation. You can go to the NASCAR page on MidlandsConnect.com, #WatchNASCAR and NASCAR on Fox. They'll be showing up on the webpage. We'd love to get into a conversation with you. So let's know what you think at home.
We saw the behind-the-scenes Jimmy Johnson Harlem Shake video that
I
Brian
never-
loves.
I never need to see all They need to make a video about people not making videos about the Harlem Shake. Hashtag overkill. How about that?
That would be
There
all
you
of
go.
us. We would all be included
There
in
you
that.
go. Okay.
3,000 views, though, on that video, so good for us.
Okay, well, there'll be more views for my video about not making any more of them. Okay, 3:14 start time, Sunday. Watch Fox 57, Fresh Fit 500. Bye-bye.